Clint, so glad to have you here today. How you doing?
Thank you. I'm doing good. How are you?
You look amazing.
Thank you. So do you.
Give us a picture of how you grew up and, in the beginning.
Sure. So I had a great childhood. I grew up in South Florida. I was very active as a child. As I got into high school, I got into working out. I played a lot of sports. Really enjoyed taking part in the activities in my high school, which then carried on to college. I went to FSU, so I moved further north to Tallahassee. And just, again, really, I started to love fitness. I really made that a part of my lifestyle, and I stayed in great shape, which is interesting because my story is about weight gain, right?
Wow.
So, and that's why this period of my life, not a lot of people know about,
Right.
because I withdrew myself from those activities that I love doing, and honestly, it's embarrassing.
Wow.
It's something I now I've learned to love because it's made me who I am today, but I was ashamed of it then.
As a young adult, you had your own business.
I did.
Tell us a little bit about that.
I did. So I decided I wanted to go out on my own, and I started a tech company when I was very young.
Wow.
And it was very stressful because I didn't have a lot of money. I had a new family. I had a lot of pressure. And my outlet was I would go and always have like a fast food lunch. I love food.
Wow.
I've always loved food. And I took it to the extreme. And I told myself, well, it's fast, it's cheap. And it was really and truly my gateway because that's how it started. I knew it wasn't healthy, and it always turned into, well, I'll stop this and I'll go to the gym tomorrow, and then the next day, and then the next day. And I was always too busy or too tired, or all these excuses that you can make to not go do that. And it just literally just spun out of control.
At what point, Clint, did you realize you had a problem with food?
There's two distinct things that happened to me. One was I was in CVS. I was waiting to get a prescription filled. And I was sitting there, and a girl walked in that had gone to my dorm. Now, realize in college I was in really good shape. And I'll never forget it because I was sitting there, and she kind of walked past me, turned around, looked in my direction, and literally did a double take. Like, did a double take, and then like her eyes got like, I can't believe knowing what that person looked like then and now what they look now. Like, it literally was like shocking to her. And as a person, that doesn't make you feel good.
It doesn't make you feel
This person meant nothing to me in my life, but it still doesn't make you feel good when someone has that like visual reaction to the way you look.
And you remember how you felt.
And I felt horrified. And that day I went home and I realized something, that I had not looked in a mirror in months. So I had not physically looked at myself in a mirror without clothes on in months. And when I finally did, what I saw was just a feeling of how did this get this far out of hand. And at that point in my life, I weighed 330 pounds. It doesn't, when you see pictures today of what I looked like then, people don't think it's real.
Wow.
They don't understand how bad it really got. And then I got scared because at that point, then I went to a doctor to start to have just standard health checks. And because I have cancer that runs in my family, I have diabetes that runs in my family, I have heart disease, I have all these risk factors. And when I met with the doctor, he said, you have progressed your body forward like 30 or 40 years because of the damage you've done in a very, very short period of time. And if you don't change, you're gonna end up with at least diabetes very soon. And then I felt this immense disappointment in myself because I had let it get to that point. I felt like I was not being a good role model for my children, which was very important to me because they saw me kind of let myself go. And I knew at that moment that it was it was do or die for me. I had to make a change, and I had to do it right then.
And then with having your own business, being a young daddy, you have to bring home the bacon, as you say. And so you didn't drink. Did you smoke?
Did not smoke.
But the thing is, you had to get rid of that stress some way. And we all go through that. And then all of a sudden, for a lot of us, it's chocolate. Mm-hmm. It's something that's sweet that we can eat or drink. And then it becomes a habit, and it becomes an addiction.
And that's one of the main reasons that I love telling this story now is when you think of addiction, you think of drugs, you think of alcohol, you think of cigarettes, you think of those major things. Not a lot of people talk about food. And to me, that stress, the new company was a gateway because it started off just as comfort food, right? I felt comfortable having something I liked because I was under a lot of other stress. And that led to a full-blown addiction. And because I would like to say that the meeting with the doctor and that epiphany that I had to change was the end of the story, and I rode out victorious from there, but that's just not it. I went through another 2 years of struggle because I would diet. I would tell my family that I was going to get in shape, I'm going to handle this, and probably one of the biggest confessions I have is as I was telling them that, I would pull into a drive-thru and order fast food more than any one person should ever order, and eat it and then hide it. I was literally hiding my food intake and then lying to my family and telling them I was still following the program that I said I was going to follow. And at that point, I realized that I'm literally a junkie. It's just I'm not taking drugs. I'm eating horrendous food.
It's horrible.
And food. It was. It took everything to another level because now I just wasn't losing weight. I had to beat an addiction. I had to figure out how to physically undo an addiction. And sometimes I almost think it's tougher with food because people don't recognize it as an addiction. What? So if you come out to your family and you say, "Hi, I'm a drug addict," there's steps you can take. No one really tells you how to get rid of a food addiction.
Oh, it's an
unwalked path.
You're not going to see drugs on TV every day. You see every hot dog, every hamburger, every pizza joint on TV every day.
And they're all inducing you to eat.
They're all making you one of the cheese looks great and the whole thing. But it's so unfortunate that we almost have to die so we can live. Mm-hmm. And a lot of us don't get it until we have reached that point. And the fact that your success story and you're able to do this, and for how many years now you've been straight?
Gosh, you're making me reveal my age now. About over 15 years now. I've been on a great path, and it's for me it's been such a huge success story because it's not just overcoming that addiction. Literally everything good that's happened in my life has happened because I was able to figure this out.
What is the success story? What is the ending to this?
So the ending was, first of all, I was able to figure out how to beat it for myself. It wasn't easy, but I essentially had to strip my health down to the bare bones because, again, no one teaches you how to beat food addiction. And in that process, I learned a ton about my personal health. I learned a ton about natural health. I learned how to control my body in more ways than just food. And it ultimately led me to victory over this addiction. But the crazy part is something that is such a black spot in my life, something I was so embarrassed about, put me on a path to not only healing myself, but creating a multi-million-dollar health company. So I took my business aspirations, merged them with what I learned in health, and I now get to inspire others and teach others what I now know about how to stay healthy and stay fit, and live my best life possible.
Wow.
So I don't know if I'd be here where I'm at in life now if I hadn't have gone through it. So I really think that when people battle addictions or they go through something bad, there is that possibility of light to not only fix what they need to fix, but take that experience and change their life in a way that they never thought possible. And I've done it, and I'm not anything special. If I can do it, anyone can do it. And that's the way I look at every single day now, is how I can take these experiences and harness them to help as many people as I can. And in turn, it gives me a life that I've never dreamed I would have, and opportunities that I don't think I would be able to walk into had this not happened.
Wow, talking about not giving up. Talking about taking the bad and turning lemons into lemonade, if you will.
And I really think we're doing, each one of us is doing the other an injustice if we don't take what we learn in life and take the struggles we've been through and take those lessons and teach them. Because when you look around, there's people that are struggling and you have no idea they're struggling. Yeah. So the number of people that come up to me after they've heard my story and say, I had the same issue, or I didn't know, I'm still dealing with it, or it's amazing what people will share with you once they realize that they can connect with you in that way. So whether it's a food addiction or anything you're dealing with, once you figure something out, share it, because it comes back to you tenfold. It really, really does.
And that's why we do this show, because we want to share it. That's why we want you to make your true confessions, not only the good, the bad, the can't look in the mirror ugly, if you will. You are going to help so many people. And the fact that you took it even further and said, I'm not going to give up. You have a company inside of you, so we see.
Yeah.
And you're not going to just quit on losing weight. You took it further and helped others. And so your bad turned out to be good for all of us. I appreciate you coming on Confession Box.
Thank you.
And you're going to have to reach in the confession box. You're going to have to pull out a word. And as it is to this amazing story you just told us, I want you to elaborate on our word. Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. And your word is...
angry.
Whoa. So, elaborate.
Angry was how I felt looking in that mirror for the first time and seeing what I had done to myself. Mm-hmm. Angry was how I felt every time I failed and lied to my family about actually following a diet. It was years of anger that I had gotten myself to where I was, and I'd look at other healthy and fit people walk around. And but anger is not what drove me to success. Becoming humble with where I was in life, understanding that I had put myself there. I had no reason to be angry at the outside world. I ate the food. Someone else was fit because they put in the work. I was the one that drove my car to get fast food and hide it. It was on me, and I had to get past that anger. And once I could put that anger away and focus on what I needed to do to fix it, was when I was truly able to succeed. Because anger in life, in any scenario, a business scenario, a personal scenario, you can never see clearly, and you can never actually fix the issue. Think about it. When's the last time you were in an argument where anger prevailed and you figured it out? It's not until you step back, calm down, and say, okay, let's figure this out.
Let's figure it out.
And I think most people think about anger in that sort of personal communication setting and not in real life choices, and even at yourself. So I had to stop being angry at myself, step back, and just put in the hard work and fix it. And that's exactly what I did. So anytime that I even feel myself getting angry about something nowadays, I realize that it's going to lead to nothing, but
not going to solve anything.
It's not going to solve anything.
And that's amazing that you even say that, because some people blame everybody else for their downfalls. And some people try to find a way, an excuse to say why they do a certain thing or why they let certain things happen, but you had it in your heart to say, I did this on my own, which when you're that humble and when you're that forgiving of yourself, it's easy to help us. Yeah. I really, really appreciate you coming, Clint, and being a part of this show. You're going to help a lot of folk.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Congratulations.
Thank you.